Hello out there folks, it's Dave from Davestation VR, and we're back with yet another episode of PSVR Digest. It's the week of September 24th, 2018, and let's get into it. So the first piece of news that I want to get into this week is there was a recent interview with Shuhei Yoshida, the president of Sony Interactive, and they asked him about the future of PSVR, what's coming in the next year or so, and he definitely made a point to mention that they're going for deeper gameplay experiences, things that last you more than a couple hours, things that feel more like a full-fledged game, but in PSVR. So that is a really good sign for what's coming in the next year or so, and I think there's probably some unannounced stuff that we haven't heard about, but even just Astro and some of the other games coming out soon, I think could satisfy that role. Next one's for all you football fans out there. 2MD VR Football is getting a free multiplayer update. So there's going to be social screen defense with the DualShock 4. So you can have somebody sitting on your couch playing against you while you're in VR playing offense, and you can take turns. So we don't have nearly enough couch co-op games like that, and I think that's a really cool free update to add. And that should be coming soon. They call it a fall update, and it's pretty much fall, so keep an eye out for that one. Just a quick note here, a game called Never Out that I mentioned on last week's episode as coming out this week seems to have been delayed, so don't look for that one this week. It should be coming out in the future, but no specific date yet. We also got a new game announcement this week. There's a game called Squishies, which is an interesting title, coming out to PlayStation VR on November 20th of this year, and it's a single-player kind of puzzler platform experience that looks a lot like, people are saying Marble Madness. So you've got these little squishies, and you push them forward and backwards with your Move controller, and it seems like you have to get them through some kind of puzzle environment. One really cool feature about this one is that they're going to have a stage builder, and you can upload levels and share them with the community. So, Dreams, we don't have any kind of release date yet, but this is going to be one of the first games for PSVR where you can actually build a stage, upload it, and share it with people. So that'll be a lot of replay value, I think. And it looks like a pretty solid little puzzle game. We also had, over the weekend, the EGX Gaming Conference in the UK, and a couple people that I know actually went out there and uploaded some impressions on stuff that they, played while they were there. They had a lot of games, Beat Saber, Blood and Truth, Astro as playable demos. And I heard from two people that I trust pretty well, Gamertag VR and 7 Degrees of Gaming. And unfortunately, they both said that Blood and Truth was quite a disappointment. So Blood and Truth is coming from developers who, of course the London Heist was fun, but in a way it's sort of like a tech demo, and that's the only thing that we have to show for their development company. So if they're trying to expand that into a full game, there's still a shot that it couldn't pan out the way we expected it to. So we could have another Bravo team on our hands, I'm not sure. That said, all the impressions of Beat Saber were really positive and totally in line with what I would expect. It looks good, it tracks well, it's fun, and it's coming to PSVR. So we don't have a date yet, but keep an eye on that one, of course. If you've been waiting for updates on Firewall 0 Hour and where all the patches are, because people are waiting for some matchmaking patches and all kinds of stuff, and we haven't heard much, but they said that they're going to start doing weekly updates on this blog to let everybody know where the patches are coming along, and they're definitely releasing one soon to fix some of the matchmaking issues. Final piece of news here is not exactly PSVR related, but if you guys have heard about this Mario Kart VR experience that's been out there in Japan and London, it's coming to the US, but it's only going to be in Washington, D.C. So in Union Station, there's going to be this place called VR Zone Portal. And starting October 1st, they're going to have the Mario Kart VR experience for about 6 months. So if you're in the area, I would totally check that out. I've always wanted to see that. And, if you got some money to spend, maybe take a trip. That's going to wrap it up for the news, so let's get into next week's upcoming releases. The big one, the huge one, is Astro Rescue Mission. If you guys ever played Robot Rescue when you first got your PSVR in Playroom VR, the free kind of grab bag of games, it is so well done, and they've expanded that 3D platforming concept out into a full game. It's supposed to be 8 to 10 hours, and it just looks delightful. The stage design, the bosses, everything I've seen just looks great. So, really, this is one that you're probably going to want to pick up day one. Also coming out next week is Racket Fury, which is a ping pong game, and hopefully it's a lot better than the previous PSVR ping pong games we've had. Hopefully the tracking is on point. I guess we'll have to see. But for now it's going to be a single-player game, and the developer said that maybe in the future multiplayer will be added. And finally, next Friday, a game called Smash Hit Plunder is coming out, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but I've heard really good things. I'm going to read some of the description here. It's a tear-it-up, set in a medieval castle and its sprawling surroundings. You play as a mage. You think you've just inherited the castle of your dreams from your family, but actually it's been magically locked up by a ghostly debt collector. Now it's down to you to find enough hidden treasure in the castle to pay off the debt. So it's a loot game with some smashing with treasure, and it looks pretty fun. We'll see about that one next Friday. I should also mention the week after that, on October 9th, we're going to be getting a game called Evasion VR from Archiac Studios, who brought us previously Blasters of the Universe, which I thought was a really cool first-person bullet hell experience. And they're billing this one as a first-person shooter bullet hell experience as well, but it looks like there's pretty expansive environments, it's got aim support, and there is online co-op. So I'm really excited about this one, and look forward to trying that out very soon. That brings us into the review wrap-up for this week, which might be a little short because 2 of these games I've actually reviewed already, and the other one is a game where you stand in a museum and you look at art. So the first one I want to talk about is Creed: Rise to Glory. This is the newest game from Survios, who brought us Sprint Vector and Raw Data and Electronauts, and they're a great studio. Overall, I really liked this one, but not so much for the reasons I was expecting to. I thought I was going to get really into the PvP mode and fighting against people online, but I found myself liking the campaign and the offline stuff a little better. When you're playing those modes, they teach you this sort of defensive style where you kind of block and wait for an opening, and I enjoyed that. It feels like a really good boxing game, and I like the polish to it, and it's pretty well done overall. Unfortunately, I had some issues with the PvP. The blocking just didn't feel right to me as compared to the campaign mode, and it seemed to really descend into this kind of like aggressive slugfest, instead of that sort of thoughtful wait for an opening defensive style that I enjoyed about the campaign. So I know people are going to have a lot of fun beating their friends up, but I personally actually enjoyed the single-player content better in this game, so I might be in the minority there, but that's my take on it. I have a full review up if you're interested on my channel. It's going to be linked in the description below. Next up is Dark Eclipse, which is a free-to-play MOBA that just got released in the European store and the US store. And there was a beta going on for a few weeks that I've already reviewed, and as far as I can tell, the game is pretty much the same as it was in the beta. But what they did add is that in the store, you can buy microtransactions. So all the way up to like $70 worth of Dark Eclipse dollars you can purchase. So I think this is going to be one of those games where, you know, I didn't even have a whole lot of fun with it when I tried it out, but a lot of the content is going to be locked behind grinding or spending real money to unlock things. I mean, it's free, try it out. If you're interested in a sort of a real-time strategy experience, you know, it might be worth a shot, but I don't think there's enough there for people to actually put real money into the game economy to unlock things. So beware of that. And I've got more in-depth coverage of that in previous episodes of the Digest, and I did like a long play video of that as well, so take a look and see what you think. The last one I played this week is called The Grand Museum VR, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. You're in a grand old museum. There's 82 different pieces of artwork to look at, and they've all been scanned using this photo imaging technology. So for the most part, they look pretty good up close, and you can go in depth and learn more info on specific pieces if you're interested, or just kind of walk around a museum environment and take it all in. This is definitely going to be a niche title, you know, if you're into art history or if this sounds like something that would be cool to you. I think it'll be pretty satisfying, especially at $10, and I had a decent time with it when I played it on live stream. One major gripe, though, is the movement system. For some reason, it uses the DualShock, but you basically just point your head somewhere to create a little circle on the ground and then hit X to teleport. And there's no turning, there's no smooth walking or anything like that. So hopefully they'll patch in something to make it a little less weird to get around, because I found that to be kind of unwieldy, but it doesn't kill the whole experience. If you're there to just kind of stand around and look at art, learn some info about it, I think you'll have a good time with it. The last game I want to talk about that came out this week is called The Door, and I actually haven't had a chance to play it yet. I just got a review code today, but it is 2018. The PSVR has been out for almost 2 years, and this is a room escape game that costs $35. So I'll give you my impressions once I have a chance to play it, but I'm not feeling too positive about that one. So that's going to bring us into sales for this week to wrap everything up, and there's not a whole lot going on. We've got Archangel for 50% off for PS Plus members, brings it to $15. That's a pretty fun story-driven mech combat game that I really liked, but it originally came out at like a $40 price point. Way too high. But it's definitely cool for what's there, so pick that one up when it's on sale. We've also got Mervilles, which is one of the very few 3D platformers that we have right now, and if you're looking to scratch that itch until Robot Rescue comes out next week, it's only $9.99 for PS Plus members. We've also got Touhou Kabuto 5 Burst Battle, which is a weird little fighting game, but one of the few fighting games available for PSVR once again, so that's 50% off as well, and it's $9.99. That's probably just going to be for hardcore anime fans, I would assume. And it kind of feels like a Dreamcast game. Finally, we've got Here They Lie, still free as a PS Plus download. So if you got PS Plus and you haven't grabbed Here They Lie yet, it's been there for months, but it's still there, so grab it. And in the next week or two, people are expecting there's going to be a big PSVR sale because it's going to be the second anniversary of the launch on October 13th. So if there's anything you're waiting for a sale on, keep an eye on that because I expect to see something big in the coming weeks. One last thing before I go, for all you patient folks who've been out there listening to me talk for about 10 minutes at this point, I've got 3 copies of the Grand Museum VR to give away. So this is North America region. Go crazy, you art lovers. And just leave a comment below letting me know if you redeemed one of these so nobody wastes their time. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the PSVR Digest. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you, and have a good rest of your day.